Hey guys, Ninja Wesley here, bringing you another Warzone Winformation video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a solo win that I had the other day, and we're also going to be looking at the last few minutes of a squad win. But right now, for the first few minutes of the video, I'm going to show you what I like to use for my loadouts. And what we're looking at now is I'm setting up a Ram 7 loadout. I accidentally messed up my loadout right before I started recording, so I had to go back through and reconfigure my Ram 7 loadout, which is one of the main weapons that I use when I play the game in Warzone mode. So, yeah, when I get finished with this, we'll jump out and we'll look at all my loadouts, and I'll walk you through what I like to use for the most part. I usually only use one of two or three, maybe four loadouts when I'm playing Warzone. So we're gonna back up, and so you can see here, I have all my loadouts configured, but the ones on the bottom, these two on the bottom, I don't ever use really. But I do use the M4 the most right here, and the HDR right here. I also use the Ram 7. So we're going to take a look at those three loadouts and the AUG loadout as well. Those are the four loadouts that I use, including the one on the top, which is a Car 98 and a PKM. But I don't usually go for that. I usually either get the M4, the AUG, the HDR, or the Ram 7. So I'm going to step you through all these. First, we're going to look at this first loadout is what I use if I haven't picked up any good weapons in the game. So I have one loadout that has two weapons. It's got a Car 98 and it's got a light machine gun. If I haven't picked up anything in the game, then I'll use this loadout. But that's the only time I'll use it. We'll go back and we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But the main loadout I use is the M4. I use the Monolith Expressor, the M16 Grenadier stock because it provides so much control and accuracy. I use the Mini Reflex, the 60 round mag, and the Tactical Foregrip. All of these things combined gives me good accuracy, range, and control. It lowers my mobility, but in my opinion, mobility is not super important in the Warzone mode because you're going to be basically running the same speed regardless. The mobility is sure it increases the ADS speed, but for the most part, you're going to know where the enemy is in Warzone, and you're going to be already ADSing. So I also use, for my lethal, I use a thermite and a heartbeat sensor. And for my perks, I run cold-blooded, ghost, and amped. I usually run cold-blooded, ghost, and amped on almost all of my loadouts. I also use the AUG loadout here. This is my AUG loadout, compensator, extended barrel, ultralight hollow, the 5.56 60 round drum, and the tactical foregrip, because this increases my accuracy, my range, and my control. It does take away a little bit of mobility and fire rate, but the mobility and fire rate on the AUG is so high anyway that the losing a little bit of that is not gonna affect much. This is the fastest time to kill weapon in the game, so it's one of the ones I'll use in solos generally if I'm really trying to be sweaty and win. The AUG with 5.56 is the fastest time to kill in the game, and I'll run EOD for my first perk or cold blooded. Usually I'll run EOD cold blooded, and sometimes I'll run double time, which increases your run speed. I almost always run ghost in the second slot because UAVs are just ridiculously powerful in Warzone. You gotta knowing where the enemy is always good. Restocked is also good. I'll run that every now and then. Overkill gives you two weapons, but Ghost because of that UAV, and then the heartbeat sensor. You gotta be able to hide from those in Warzone. And the last one I'll usually run amped because it increases the weapon switch speed, which is very important in the middle of a fight if you have to switch from one weapon to another. So I'll usually use amped. In this particular kit, I'm running battle hardened because of the ability to protect against stun grenades. But I'll always almost run amped. I'll almost always run ghost. So my other loadouts that I mainly use is HDR. That's my go-to sniper loadout. My HDR sniper loadout is pretty much my go-to because you can always find a good assault rifle in Warzone. So I'll use amped on my sniper kit so that I can switch to my sniper and my assault rifle very quickly. I usually use C4 and heartbeat sensor as my two equipment slots. Also, the grenades are good, but the heartbeat sensor, in my opinion, is really nice, especially early game, to try and find people in buildings that are camping, particularly in solo mode. There's a lot of campers, so heartbeat sensor is just an invaluable tool. But the snapshot grenade does basically the same as the heartbeat sensor, but on a more limited basis, although it does allow you to see people with a little bit more clarity. If I had to pick the loadout that has helped me the most, would be the HDR loadout. Ram 7 is also really good. This is the second fastest time to kill weapon in the game. So I'll run Ram 7 and HDR, or I'll run M4 and HDR. So we're going to go back and look at my HDR setup. I run monolithic suppressor. I run the 29-inch HDR Pro barrel. I'll run the Nomad stock for increased movement speed. And you can run, 7 or 9 rounds if you want instead of a fully loaded perk. But I prefer fully loaded because if you pick up the weapon, if you don't have anything else, you need ammo. And so fully loaded allows me to just pick this specific kit. This alone, it's enough to win me a game sometimes. I'll usually run the base scope, but the variable scope is good. The pro optic is good. The scout combat optic is pretty good. I mean, any of these are fine, but I just generally stick with the base because it's a pretty good scope, and it allows me to put extra attachments on the weapon itself. So yeah, so you can see I use this stock. It's the Nomad stock at the moment, but any of these stocks are fine. They all give you different benefits and strengths, but the Nomad gives you walk speed, which is good to avoid headshots when you're trying to counter snipe somebody. You can actually kind of move out of the way. I mean, it really, they have to miss, but it helps make them miss. So we're going to jump into a game here. Unfortunately for this footage, I did not capture the first opening moments of this game. I have the kills recorded because NVIDIA Highlights captures those for me, but I forgot to actually record jumping out of the plane. But I ended up jumping quarry, and I picked up a scavenger mission. So I've been running around picking up the scavenger loot boxes, and I run across a few dudes here. A lot of these fights are just me being super lucky, just getting shots that I should not be getting, and just getting wins on these guys. Just, man, I got really lucky here at the beginning of the game, honestly. I didn't know that these guys were going to be coming. Most of these guys could have gotten the drop on me just as easily as I got the drop on them. So you're going to see me heading to this buy station here to get a loadout drop. I've killed 4 people now, I think. Yeah, so I ended up managing to get a lot of money off of these guys that I just happened to run across while I was moving to the buy station to get armor. So I buy a loot drop, I throw it out here in the middle, and I actually go back and buy UAV instead, which is what I should have bought to begin with. And I hear a guy behind this wall. I push up. I shoot. I knew I won that fight because he got no hits on me, so I push up and kill him with my silence SMG. I grab my sniper build and I pick my SMG back up again. Usually, if I found a good, what I would call a primary, I guess, at the beginning of the game, then I will pick up my sniper. If I haven't found a good primary, then I might pick up my AR build, either my M4 or my Ram 7 at the beginning of the game instead of my sniper build. So I just call a UAV. I'm trying to figure out where the rest of the enemies around me are. At this point in the game, nobody else has really gotten a loadout except for me, so I know that they can't hide from UAV. So I'm marking the closest guys to me, particularly the one here on my east, and I was looking in the map at where all the rest of the guys were, so I could kind of get a feel for where they might be coming from. I knew there was a guy there as well, so I mark down there at that building south, and I start moving that direction. I figured my best bet is to get up on the mountain there to my what I would call, I guess, northwestish, but I want to clear out this guy to my south first before I move that way. So I'm moving this way and looking for this guy. I think that maybe he might be moving towards the loot box loadout drop, just like I would be. I imagine that his is near mine. Generally, if you're in the same area as someone in the game, when the loadout drops, it'll drop that person's loadout right next to yours to kind of force fights. That's sort of what the game does. That's how the game forces people into fights early and mid-game, is dropping all the loadouts in one specific area together. So I'm looking that way at my loadout. I'm trying to figure out where this guy might be. Based on the UAV I called earlier, I know there's around 5 people in my area. And I'm going to do my best to remind myself throughout the match not to get tunnel vision on one person. Since it's solo, you can always be flanked from almost any direction. So you're going to try and at least keep a vision on the area around you generally. So I'm being real careful and I'm staying inside mostly. I don't want to go outside and get a whole bunch of sight lines potentially where people could be. I see there's an extra C4 here, so I throw my C4 so I can pick up the other one and still use that as a detriment for people coming through that doorway there. I hear someone to the southeast there. I heard someone jump out of that building. I got to go out this door. I'm going to peek out this door and I'm going to look for this guy that I heard to the southeast. I think he's out there in that area, middle area right there is where I heard some steps. I hear glass break. That little building to my right, and so I think he's in that building maybe. I'm looking, I don't see him, but the door's open. So there was someone there. Oh, there he is, jumped out of the window. I take my shot, I line up a headshot, and take him out of the game. Alright, so after that we're going to skip forward a little bit. We're going to go to, if nothing else happens between now and a few minutes later, I just stay in the building areas of Quarry, just looking for people to kind of engage on. I know that there's a buy station to my left, so I'm kind of camping that a little bit, just so I can buy armor or another loadout drop if I feel I need to. And I'm looking for people that might be moving around on these rocks or outside this area so I can get people out of the game. So I know I need to move that direction eventually because the circle's pushing me to the west/northwest here. If you see on the minimap, you can kind of see I'm at the edge of the new circle. And I know I need to climb these rocks, so I'm making sure that once I do move that direction, I'm not going to get killed by anybody that's kind of sniping from that direction as well. Because I know that there's other people in this compound, at least as far as I saw earlier in the game, I'm going to camp a little bit. In solos, you have to camp sometimes. You have to stay still and listen and plan what you're going to be doing and where you're going to be moving, because you only have one chance. If you get caught out by somebody in solos, it's game over. So it's an entirely different style of gameplay. And because of that, you have to sometimes what some people would call camp, which means you have to sit still in a spot and kind of just watch your quadrant that you're in. That's just kind of the nature of solos. I mean, I'm not a big proponent of camping and staying in one spot for too long, but when you're safe and when you know there are people in the nearby vicinity, it's the only logical thing to do if you're really trying to win the game. So that's what I'm doing. Sometimes I have to sit and stay still and kind of look around and kind of plan out what I'm going to be doing next. That being said, we're about to leave this area and head out into the open here, so I'm trying to make sure that there's nobody in my building and that I have all the gear that is in the nearby general vicinity. Generally, you want to avoid moving into the open as much as you can, and when you do, like right now, you want to go as fast as you can. You want to rush through these sight lines and avoid any fire. I hear someone get killed, or at least not killed. I hear someone get attacked by my claymore that I set up earlier in the game, and I heard where it was, so I know there's a guy to my south, almost direct south, behind these buildings. So I'm going to run up this hill, turn around, and make sure that I can watch for this guy coming out of the buildings. I'm also going to make sure there's nobody up here, because I'm still not sure where anyone is around me yet. When I want to stop and listen, I'll crouch walk. I wouldn't recommend crouch walking that often in the open, because it puts a big target on your head for any sniper that might be watching you from a distance. But if I'm near a wall or somewhere that someone might be hiding, I will crouch so that I see a guy going to the buy station, and I take him out. I got a lucky headshot there. It wasn't super lucky because I lined my shot up, but it was lucky that he was running into the buy station, and I could just line that up and just nail him in the face. So I'm going to take this truck. I'm thinking about taking this truck, so I'm going to sit near the truck so that I don't miss out on the chance to take this into zone further. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch for a little while back towards the buy station and also the loadout drop. I know that there's my loadout drop there to the right, and there's multiple loadout drops in that area, so I'm going to keep watching and see if anybody tries to make their way that way. But the circle's pushing. I don't see anybody else, so I'm gonna jump in this truck and move into the new zone. Now that I know where it is, I can go into the zone that way. I make a wrong turn here. I go down this path, and then I notice that there's a wall, and that I can't get up to the hill. I want to get up an elevation as much as possible, so that I can have the better position if I'm into a fight with somebody. So I'm going to turn around and go back up this hill, and I'm going to jump out of the truck here when I get into the woods area, because the truck kind of paints a picture of where I am on the radar, and I don't want to stay in the truck for too long because C4 can kill me. So I'm going to jump out of the truck once I get up here near this shed, and I'm going to watch for enemies. I'm going to C4 the truck though, so if somebody takes it, I can blow it up because I don't want to get run over by the truck late game. So I'm going to throw my C4 out. I'm going to stick him to the truck. I know it potentially could be a waste of C4, but in the long run, it was the choice that I made. I get a kill here. Inexplicably, I get a kill. And I'm trying to figure out where I got this kill from. And I turn around and I see that it's the truck had rolled down the hill into someone. I don't know how it happened, but there is a dead body right behind the truck. So I got a kill on a dude that was running into circle, I guess. I have no clue here what happened here. I do see a guy on the road there to the right of the road, so I try and take a shot, but he sees me and he tries to snipe. But fortunately, I got a headshot on him. I could have gotten taken out there just as easily as taking him out. I just got lucky with that shot, honestly, because I was way out in the open. I should have taken better cover there, but it worked out for me in that position, but it often would not have. So I would say learn from my semi-mistakes here. We're going to skip forward a little bit here, and we're going to see I'm moved up a little further into circle, but nothing else has happened so far. I saw another guy running near this trees over there earlier, but I couldn't get a shot, and I lost sight of him. So that's why I keep looking that way to try and figure out if he's still out there in the trees or not. I see a guy in the truck. I barely missed my shot here. I don't know why that one missed. I have no idea, but I barely missed my shots on that guy, and I decided that it's better to keep moving than it is to try and take some shots on a truck that does not really matter at this point in the game, honestly. So at this point in the game, I generally try and use the zone as an artificial wall so that I know for a fact that no one will be coming from that direction. So I'll often just run along the zone instead of towards the middle. Even though eventually I have to push into the middle of the zone, I will go along the wall of the zone to find better positions, and a lot of times people don't expect you to be moving that direction. They expect you to go straight into circle, so you get drops on people, or you find alternate routes to things that give you more better cover than you had previously. Here, for example, I find a hangar that provides sufficient cover, so I head inside and hang out. And I hear some steps outside the hangar to my east, so I pull out my heartbeat sensor. I see that he is above me, I believe. I think he's above on the top of the hangar, and the circle's pushing. So I'm going to sit in the hangar and just patiently wait here. There's no reason for me to feel like I need to move. Sometimes you just have to be patient in the game. So I'm going to sit in my little corner and watch this guy. So he moved over to my corner. He's directly above where I was right there. So I know he's up there. And I know that if I stay outside crouch walking for too long, I will be shot by someone else. I don't think that he knows where I am, so I'm going to go ahead and just try and push on this guy. I can push and get the advantage here. I downed him, not killed him, and I don't want him to self-res, so I decide to go ahead and push up and finish, even though it puts me out in the open. I feel that it's necessary so that I can clear this area of the circle. Now I know it's only me and 3 others. I know I got shot from one guy to the west. I see another guy there. I missed my shot here, unfortunately. And I'm still worried about this guy to the right. So I push up to get behind the rock to kind of provide cover to the guy I missed my sniper shot on. I thought I saw a guy, but it was just a dead body. So I'm looking. I'm trying to find out where this guy was. There's now only me and two more left. I know one of them is to the left, and one of them is to the right. The guy on the right lost. I heard his death rattle, so I'm going to move up and try and stay near cover while I quietly creep up on this guy. There he is. I have to win this fight. I barely win. I finish, and that's the end of the game. So, maybe this helped some people out, maybe not. If it did, like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. If it didn't, I have some other videos, like always, coming down the pipe, some highlight videos or whatever. Right now, we're going to jump into a squad game, and I'm going to give you some insight on what was going on with the squad game here in just a second. So now we're going to be taking a look at about the last 6 or 7 minutes of the most recent squad win that me and the boys got. We're going to be starting off in Lumber. The game is going to end shortly, and it's going to be right outside Lumber. So we've been camping these few buildings in Lumber trying to find squads to engage on, and I see a squad off to the distance in the south, and we try and discuss whether we're going to go fight them or not, and we end up deciding to try and go third party the fight that they're getting into. So we begin heading that way to try and get them out of the game, but as we're moving, we get shot at from some people in the woods. I see a sniper glint, and I ping him in the woods, but I can't see him through the trees, so I just take some random shots. I end up hitting him and breaking him, but there's another one on the hill that I don't see to the left, and he downs me as soon as I peek. So we have decided to go back into the building. We've canceled our trek out into the south to fight that team, and we decided to just kind of hold up for the moment. We're in circle. We have all of our teammates up. We all have armor. We all have our weapons. So it's more important to survive than it is to get into fights. Even though the fun of the game is fighting, it's still at the core of the game, a strategy, survival game. So we have to be smart about when we decide to engage on targets. So we get back into the buildings, and I'm continuing to peek towards the team that downed me so I can see where they're going to be moving to. I don't want to be pushed by them, and so I'm going to continue looking that way while my teammates look to the south. I'm going to go grab some armor. There's some armor outside that I ended up buying some armor at the buy station here in just a minute. Because there's a buy station right here, and I need some armor, so I go up and buy some armor. And we move into the next building over. It's a little further into circle, and we feel that it's a little bit more sustainable from a defense position, even though it has more entrances. It also has more angles that we can spread out a little bit, and we don't get pushed by everyone at the same time. So we're gonna hole up here for a little while and kind of just watch and listen and see if we can find some people to shoot. We know people are to the south, and we know the circle's pushing them into the south. So I'm looking for a position where I can see the team that downed me and look back to the south to try and get some hits on the targets to the south that we know will be coming soon. Meanwhile, we want to clear the area, and we want to make sure that nobody's in the building with us. In this particular game, I'm running a Ram 7. I picked up one of the base Ram 7s that you can find in the game. We see a team out in the open, and we start taking some shots. I ended up downing one of them with a really good shot, but we can't finish it. He gets behind the building. We can't finish it. Kill, so he ends up getting saved by his team, and no kill confirmed here. But we do have some people coming in from the south, and so we're gonna skip forward here in just a second. Actually, unfortunately, I didn't record about a minute of footage here. We're about to skip forward, and we're going to be fighting some dudes that are going to be moving in from where we originally came from, the building to our south. You'll see here, he's around this corner. My teammates call him out. I see him peek. I down him. I see another one in the building. I take some shots. Can't finish him. I should reload here, but I don't. I forget to reload, so I only have 15 shots. So when he comes and he peeks, I can't finish. I only break. I finished the guy that I downed earlier. I see another guy out in the open running from the truck. I down him. I'm thinking I'm going to push on him to secure the kill, but I see the gas, and my teammates keep telling me we got to move. So they snap me out of my funk, and I move away from the zone because we're not in a circle, and I need to catch up with my team. They're way ahead, and I'm being a dummy trying to get kills when the most important part is staying with my team and doing the right thing from a team play perspective. I have the armor box, so I need to stay with them at all times, especially late game. The armor box is an invaluable tool at this point in the game, especially for squads. You want to always designate one person with the armor box. I get flanked here, and thankfully don't get dropped, because if I did, I would be game over, I feel like. But I get inside and heal up, and my team kills the people that were firing on me. I called out that they were behind me. They turn and shoot them. I'm going to run up into these bushes over here. I'm going to get in this bush and take some time to regroup. And I remember that I have my armor box and I need armor badly. I'm going to throw it down and tell my teammates that I threw it out. They are going to be going to some of them are going to be going to the loadout because they need to get some more ammo and stuff for the new weapons. So I'm going to ping my armor box. I'm going to stay near cover, which is these rocks to my right here as far as I can tell. And my teammates call out some contact on the hill to the far northeast, north. We get pushed up on behind, but my teammate wins the fight. It was just a solo, the last man of his squad, so I need ammo, so I run up and take the ammo. And we continue to move towards the new circle. We have a hill in front of us. You always want to move towards cover if you can. Obviously, you don't ever want to be outside of cover. This game is one of the fastest time to kills in the BR genre. So you always want to be able to duck back behind cover if you can. So I'm going to be using this hill as cover right here, and we're looking for the other teams. I hear contact. I see pings. I turn. I open fire. I don't get very many good shots here. I miss my shot on the guy behind the rock. My teammate goes down, and I can't finish this guy that downed him. I missed my shot. But it's good communication here. We're all communicating where these guys are, and the smoke is pushing them hard. So I kill one of them that was doing a self-revive and move back closer to my team to provide fire support cover. I see a sniper right there. I ping it up for my team. I take a shot. I don't know how this shot misses, but I hit the next one, thankfully. He downed my teammate, but I finished the first guy, and my teammate gets down on the other guy. So I get one last headshot, and that's game over. It was a bit of luck, a bit of positioning, a bit of communication, and overall, a fun victory. Thanks for watching, boys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.